Beautiful Los Angeles, where it's so quiet you can almost hear a body drop. No sooner had Elon Musk posed before the Israeli embassy, brandishing a Zippo and immolated himself on national TV, than the entire city of Los Angeles said, "Hey, no fair, wait for me."
The DOD's rapid response account on X saying LA is burning. Of course, Monday morning there were no fires burning. So that kind of very hyped up, very hypercharged rhetoric coming from Trump, coming from his agencies.
It could turn very volatile if you move law enforcement in there in the wrong way and turn what is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn.
Bleeding heart liberals, time to dispense some justice. 10 years, 10 years, 15 years, creep, 10 years, lawbreaker. In this city, justice comes at a price. That price is freedom.
I say the city of Los Angeles, but truth is, this fiery, mostly peaceful, violent arson had more fingerprints on it than Amber Heard's midriff. This despite a mass media that insists it's the most organic thing since Soylent Green. In response to the enforcement of basic immigration laws, chiefly through a recent cartel arrest, along with ICE raids on a Home Depot in the Paramount District, suspiciously well-funded and organized illegals, but enough about Hassan Piker, assembled en masse to assail a local immigration detention facility, and almost immediately, violence prevailed. What fortune for the rioters that there were conveniently located cinder blocks lay by to hammer into small pieces and pitch like a four-seam fastball at the 5-0s. This entire situation stinks like Madonna doing the splits. Despite ICE raids being law of the land and indeed being initiated almost from the moment Trump put his paw on a New Testament and said, "I do," over the weekend, this particular episode exploded like a Belfast taxi cab. So supersonic, Wally West velocitous, that weekend editions of the major American newspapers barely even covered the conflagration, if at all. Now suddenly it's the prologue to Predator 2 and Danny Glover's hanging off the side of a cop car? So who kicked in for the insurrection? Well, the list is longer than a Walgreens receipt, but early indications are a Marxist millionaire named Neville Singham, head of the PSL, or Party for Socialist Liberation, as one of the more visible instigators. Visible in that the PSL is well-funded enough to actually table a candidate in the 2024 presidential election cycle, Claudia de la Cruz, albeit through a shell organization called the People's Forum, who, despite being paid by a pinko millionaire almost exclusively, continued to insist she is, and I quote, member-funded, which, to be fair, Neville Singham certainly looks like a great big floppy member. And before you check his early life section, no, I'm afraid not. Just a good old-fashioned South American socialist recently implicated in a vast money laundering campaign with the CCP. But he's far from the most prominent figure to support the riots, as the president of Mexico has signaled her full-throated, shockingly shrill support, but even obliquely indicated that if the Marines are employed against the foreign citizens flambeing Bentleys in the streets, she may well consider deploying the Mexican military across the U.S. border in their reflexive defense, to which I can but solemnly reply, bitch, do you promise? Should be easy enough to take out your entire tank division, seeing as all you have to do is take out the guy pushing them. But go on, you socialist sea hag. Give me an excuse to do what I want. Probably the most discommoded entity in the entire ordeal is Gavin Newsom, who in a cynical bid for a presidential run has, for long laborious months, attempted in vain to transmogrify his suburban Bolshevik image from Che Guevara to Mr. Moderate, one unlistenable podcast at a time. But it's one thing to cosplay a Sammy centrist, and another thing entirely for the country at large to watch as your Reconquista constituents set the middle of the road on fire. Cop cars, Waymos, and Cholos. Before long, even Bronson Boulevard was bedizened by flame. And yes, that's its actual street name. Yet as Trump ordered a wave of weekend warriors to LA and even mobilized the Marines, Nutham McNewsom was forced to descend his feckless fence post and engage in the declamatory Democratic posturing that is his actual want. And if the net result of this incendiary uprising is the end of his career, can I say something without people getting mad? Is millions in property damage really too profound a price to pay to get the pompadouche out of politics for all time? Because it's one thing to argue for immigration reform while remaining more vague than Coldplay lyrics. It's another thing entirely to rebuff federal attempts at aid while his own federal facilities are encircled by an estimated 12,500 rioters, which may sound like a lot, but keep in mind, that's still only like 2 vans worth of Mexicans. But if it's a game of political chicken, Governor Gavin is going down like the Pittsburgh Pirates, while Trump's approval rating has actually risen. Color me crazy, but I remember noting the dong-dangling disparity between how the mongs in the media were portraying this public outcry versus how normies were reading the situation. Oh, around June 6th, the same day when Trump authorized the deployment of 2,000 National Guard troops to quell the violence, and only hours later attended a UFC event where he was brutally reprimanded by being cheered out of the building. And you have no one but yourselves to blame for the utter incoherence of this effort. Thanks to a deadly domestic disturbance launched by everyone from Lexus liberals to Leninists, no intelligible argument against the ICE raids has yet to emerge, leaving the average citizen to logically assume that your only demand is the indefensible argument that we should not have nor enforce immigration laws. And in this strip the paint off the wall stupidity, the left are joined arm in ass with the looniest of lulbertarians, with everyone from Chase Oliver to Thomas Massey to Rand Paul using smoldering rubble as an opportunity to argue for cuts to immigration enforcement. Rand, buddy, never mind jumping the shark. You cleared that shit with a triple axle twist and ended with the worst landing since Owen Hart. Sign up for Hooked on Phonics and read the damn room. And worst of all, unlike the lefties, lulberts have no actual excuse for being more tone deaf than a Yoko rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. The Pinko protesters would have written their manifesto, but they're still waiting on Ace Hardware to restock the spray paint. Lulberts, Pinkos, Dagos, orange-picking foreigners nationwide. You gave it your best shot. The media took your side immediately, printed propaganda for 2 decades straight. You got an entire utterly unwatchable movie on your behalf, Day Without a Mexican, and still, the reality of actually living with illegal immigration overwhelmed it. We don't care. You lost the optics war, you lost the argument, you lost the election. Keep it up and you'll lose even more. Worst of all, your fake-toothed tin pot of a governor can't risk breaking his centrist kayfabe to actually intercede on your behalf. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200 pesos. Leave now. I'll never come back. I'm Razor Fist. Godspeed.
Deportations, stop them, jail them, put them on a plane.